Ford Focus and Fiesta, Powershift DPS6 transmission, used transmission inspection. I'm going to be showing you how to check the clutch, the forks, the synchronizers, the bearings, and anything else that may be an issue if you were to just put this in. First thing I'm going to do is just drain the transmission fluid. Okay. As you can see, my TCM is missing. I will go over that in a moment. But coming underneath here, here's the drain plug. I've already gotten it loose here, but let me tell you, it's going to be tight. Woo! And if you have the transmission up in the air, it's going to be dangerous trying to break this loose. I used a 1/2-inch impact to nudge it loose and then took it out by hand. If you're curious, the transmission does hold about 1.7, 1.8 quarts of dual clutch transmission fluid. You can also use 75W80 unless you're in an extremely cold climate. And that's just my suggestion. It calls for dual clutch transmission fluid, Motorcraft. You can also use AMSOIL. But I have had no issues running 7580. All right, you guys, once you are satisfied with the amount of fluid that's poured out of its anus here, you can go ahead and sit on the workbench. Step 1, clutch and fork inspection. If the clutch looks like this, I wouldn't risk it. In general, I always recommend if you get a used transmission for a Focus or Fiesta, if the clutch doesn't look brand new, it's best to put a luck rep set in it. I'll put a link down below for an Amazon affiliate luck rep set. But if times are tough, which I understand that, I'm going to tell you how to check it. First thing I'm going to do here, just give it a general look over, spin it around, check for any bad noises. I don't hear anything. I did see a leaf fall down in there, so I'm going to have to blow compressed air in here. Nothing obvious, no looseness in the input shaft bearing. However, let's go further. I'm going to go ahead and pull the actuator motors out. There's 2 of them, one right here and one right here that I'm touching. They're held on with external Torx E8. However, a 1/4 inch 6-point socket will suffice as well. Okay, those are loose, and these are loose as well. This is actuator A on top of the transmission. If you notice, my range sensor is missing. That's what that is. Okay. That's not a good sign. Don't go crazy with it. Make sure you get a claw hammer. No, I'm just kidding. Try to break the bond here lightly. I just tapped it a little bit here, and it's broke free. Oh my goodness. There we go. Okay, the reason I'm pulling these out, these are the splines for the clutch forks. I'm going to turn the clutches by hand and get a feel for them. Okay, that one's not stuck. These actuators appear to have been replaced at some point before. They're the ones that are spot welded right here instead of riveted from the factory. Okay, so this is the bottom of the transmission. Therefore, this is clutch B right here. And coming to the top of the transmission where the range sensor and the lift eyelet is right here, this is clutch A. I'll put a link down below for a clutch reset tool. Let's check clutch B first. I'm going to rotate this counterclockwise about 14 times, and it should feel butter smooth the whole time. There's 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, clutch B is fully applied. I'm going to release slowly. Did you see that? It didn't bind or stick. Okay, now I'm going to do the same for clutch A. Nope. You see that? The fork is not releasing. Look at that. That clutch fork's no good. You might be able to fix it with cleaning it. There we go. With brake cleaner. I would recommend pulling it out, pulling the clutch out and all that, but that's no good. Now, if both of your clutch forks pass the test right here that I showed you, If the clutch looks like this, if it's not brand new looking, I would still recommend replacing the clutch, the forks, and the slave cylinder, because even if this passes the inspection, you could still have a slave cylinder bearing coming apart, and you could put it in and have engagement concerns with the transmission and have codes P07A2 or P07A4, and you'll have to pull it back out. So if in doubt, luck rep set on a used transmission every time. And I do have a video on how to do the clutch and the forks with no special tools. I'll also link that in the description down below. But that concludes the first part of this video, which is inspection and testing the clutch and the forks, and my tips and advice there. If you want to pull the clutch out and clean the forks and all that, once again, I've got the video on how to do that with no special tools. And I may be coming out with a video here in the near future about reinstalling the old clutch without locking it first. I think that might be a possibility, but if not, I do have another video I'll link on how to reset the clutch. All right, you guys, I have the transmission set on its face here. Next, part 2, we're going to check the synchronizers, check the output shaft bearings, and look for any obvious damage. No special tools required. I've probably already said that too many times. So step 1 for you, you're going to want to detach the transmission harness. I don't have mine on here, but it's going to be attached right here and here. You just need to pop all the retainers off. Disconnect the TCM connectors. Got a video for that too. I'm sorry, I'll keep going here. And with the TCM connectors off, there are 4 10mm bolts holding the TCM on, and then it'll pop out. And you'll be in the spot that I'm in right now. I'm going to recover these O-rings here from the TCM that were left behind. All right, in order to check the synchronizers and bearings, we need to pop the back case half off. Also, this will be a good way to check the shift drum stops while this is off. So any common issues here, we'll be able to check. The case half bolts are external Torx E12. You're going to want to pop these sensors off. 8mm bolt, 8mm bolt. Make sure you put the sensors back in the right spot and keep the metal shims on them. See? But anyway, external Torx E12 all the way around. And there's a couple of them that are the opposite way here that you'll have to take off as well. And if I didn't mention already, you can also use a 10mm bolt socket on this, 6-point. And you'll need a 10mm anyway to take these 6 off as well. These 6 bolts on the end of the transmission case. I'm not going to record every single bolt. You'll need an extension to get to some of these back ones here. All right, now down to these 6 10mm bolts. If you can see inside the holes there are flanges with threaded areas on them on the output shafts. When you put the case half back on, you just need to double check and make sure those flanges are lined up, and you'll be able to thread the bolts in. Before I forget, I do want to mention this is the type of silicone that this transmission takes. It's anaerobic sealant, Motorcraft TA16. I'll link it in the description. With all of the fasteners removed, I'm going to put a pry bar right here and pry on this case boss and pop the case off. I have a tripod. There's another case boss on that spot as well. There we go. The issue I was having was that I forgot to take the 2 speed sensors off, and they were binding. So don't forget to take those 2 speed sensors off. Anyway, with the transmission case half popped up that much, in theory now, I should be able to just, yeah, alrighty. Okay. Transmission shift drum stop inspection. It's good. See this right here? This is where the shift drum stops go. This one doesn't usually break, but this one that's smaller usually shears right off. And as you can see here, it is fully intact and not about to break. That's a piece of RTV there. So the case is okay. And moving on, here's the meat and potatoes and biscuits and hash browns. Oh. There's the bearing that is located on the final drive. No pits or burring. If the bearings are pitted or burred and you want to replace it, you're going to have to reference my video on DPS6 partial teardown, which I'll link below. And basically at that point, when you're done inspecting everything else, you're just going to put this case half on, flip it over, and I'll go through it in that video. Pull the clutch out, input shaft, snap ring, and then slide the clutch housing off, and then this will pop right out. Do notate, here's the magnet. It'll fall off when you pull the transmission apart this way. You're going to want to clean this off and any debris that got down in here. Okay. And when you're ready to go back together with the transmission, there's this recess right here. See those two notches right here? Once this is clean, put some grease on it or transmission assembly lube and stick it right in there. It'll stay. Coming over here, no damaged clock gears. They're turning the shift drums. That's good. That's not a very common failure, but just wanted to point that out. Coming on top of the output shafts here, there are 3 sealed bearings, which you can check. And the way I'm going to check that, shake them back and forth and spin them. It's not making any noise. It's stopping relatively quickly, so they're not dried up. Okay, there we go. That one's good as well. And I'll check this one here. Remove that oil spout. It goes down like that. These bearings are all good. All right, boys, synchronizer inspection. There are 6 forward synchronizers and 1 for reverse. Once again, I've got a video on which synchronizer is which. It's called DPS6 synchronizer identification, which I'll link below. I'm sorry, I'll stop saying that. But how I'm going to check this is take my phone here and zoom in at least 5x, maybe 10x on each synchronizer. Look at the teeth and look for any marred, jarred, destroyed teeth. Let's get started. Okay, let's start with this upper big gear here, which I believe is first gear. Give me a moment here. I'm going to zoom in. Okay. All right. These are the teeth right here. There we go. I'm going to point at it with a pick here. You can also rotate this with a pick possibly, or if not, just grab the gear. These teeth look excellent. I don't see any deformation or wear. Just a little bit of wear on that one in the middle. I mean, not enough to, and a little right there. Not enough to cause grinding or anything. So that gear looks good. All right, moving down below to the next synchronizer. All right, the teeth are the other way on this one. This one's easier to turn. I don't see any round off teeth or anything. No damage there. I think that synchronizer's good as well. Sorry for all the shakiness. Moving down to the next synchronizer. And if you're wondering, I'm at 6x zoom. There we are. Once again, those triangular shaped teeth is what I'm looking at. With that in mind, let's go ahead. They all look pointy. None of them look jarred and marred up. Ladies and gentlemen, we might have a good transmission here. Let's see. Get a better view for you. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, looks good to me. Maybe a little wear and tear, but not enough to cause an issue. Moving on down to the next one. And there we are. See those triangular teeth once again. Let's see, turn. All right. Yeah. All good there. I don't see any damaged teeth. Moving on down. Okay. They're all pointy at the end. Okay, moving on up to the next output shaft over. Here's a synchronizer teeth here. Looks good. Sorry for the camera quality. Next one down. There we go. Pointy teeth. Looking at the area above and below, and there's a little bit of sludge on the left there. Okay, there we go. A little bit of wear. It's not bad though. Next one down. Looks good. I mean, it would be obvious if there was something wrong here. Pointy. Nice and pointy. Guys, I apologize for the shakiness in that. It's hard to keep it steady with the zoom. However, all I did was zoom in 6x. You could do 5x. You could also see some of it with a naked eye. And just go down one by one. Look for pointy teeth. You can see the teeth on one of them here. Look for anything that looks obviously damaged and rounded and just distorted. And in that case, you want to take the synchronizers apart or get loaded shafts or used shafts, or get another transmission. If you get it from a junkyard, return it. It's a fairly involved job replacing the synchronizers. And I haven't seen individual synchronizers available separately for this. So, all right, you guys, that covers inspection of a used DPS6 transmission. When you go back together with this, clean, remove any silicone, clean this with rubbing alcohol and a rag all the way around on both sides. Remove any silicone first. And then when it's clean enough, you can get your anaerobic sealant and go around on the inside of the bolt holes like this. Go on the inside there, like that. And set the case halves back together, and you should be good to go. Here are the two flanges that you need to keep lined up with the holes on here to get the 6 bolts back on. But that covers it, you guys. If you have any questions, let me know. Be happy to answer. I sure do hope this video will help somebody out. Saves you some time so you don't put the transmission in and have to pull it right back out. Have a great day. Okay?